thank you, Consul General Reddy, DCM Kampa, and Additional Secretary Singh, and the distinguished guests here. You know, I was in Bangalore recently at the office, and you know, I was amazed. It's the biggest office we have outside of the United States. And it's a really amazing office, and it's sort of like, I was so proud of the fact of how much Google has invested in India. You know, we had a $10 billion commitment, digitization commitment a few years ago. We're committing $15 billion more for the next 5 years, including a huge data center, an undersea cable, and much more. And it makes me really proud to think of this connection back to India and working together to advance a future for people in India. You know, and when I was in India, there are a couple of things. I work on two areas. I work on education and learning, and I work on sustainability. And one thing that struck me as I was in India, I was at the tail end of the monsoons, was the fact that, you know, we are now able to do these predictions of the monsoons, and we work together with the Ministry of Agriculture to get better monsoon predictions to like 38 million farmers, and work with the University of Chicago as well. And it appears that if the farmers know exactly when to plant their seeds, it can make a 2x difference in their income. And that's a huge impact that can be had from the possibility of AI and technology. These are the new neural GCM models that are being developed with AI. Another example is, you know, I live in two places which have bad traffic. I live in Silicon Valley, and I've lived in Bangalore. And I think it's a side effect of success if you've got bad traffic, so, you know. But we have a project called Greenlight, which optimizes traffic signals. Now, it's not going to be a silver bullet. It's not going to solve your Bangalore traffic, but it reduces emissions by 10% by optimizing traffic lights. And we're working with cities around the world, including 3 or 4 major cities in India, to implement the AI use of AI to optimize traffic lights across cities. But the main thing I wanted to talk about today is learning. I think learning is really fundamental to who we are as a species. You know, skunks have a special superpower. They can like create the smell that nobody wants. Lions can tear things apart. You know, a viper can poison you. What is our superpower? Our superpower is that we can learn from another human being. And that allows every generation of human beings to build on what came before. And the way we do this, principally, is through language. I worked on search for over 20 years, and the journey of search was actually a journey of understanding language. You've got some information need in your head. How do we turn it into what you typed into what you actually want? And so it's not a surprise that from spelling correction all the way to the AI innovations from BERT and so on happened very often in the context of search. And the person who worked on spelling correction went on to be a key author on the Transformer paper that unlocked the huge power of AI that we see today. So what AI does today, the big unlock, is it unlocks the power of language. And we've never before had the ability to use machines to use language. And that fundamentally enables us to attack the problem of education differently. From the perspective of students, AI allows you to do a few things. It allows you to transform content from one form to another. One kind of content is often in a textbook. It's not in the form that you might understand, right? I just was talking to students at Mountain View High School today and how they use AI to actually supplement their textbooks with content in the version that they want. It can make that process, we have been in the business of providing you with information, but it can make that process be an active process. We know that learning works when it's active, when you're actually asking questions, not just receiving information. It can also enable you to remember better by creating frameworks around what you've learned. At a deeper level, it can also break down barriers. A lot of students struggle with barriers from reading. A lot of students have struggled with dyslexia. And if you can't read, even though you can understand the content, you don't get it. So with tools like Notebook LM, which can convert the content into an audio podcast, it can suddenly become engaging for you to engage with that content, and it can become interesting to you. There are also language is another barrier for a lot of people, you know, across the world, but even in India. The medium of instruction may not be the language that you understand well. And so with tools like Chrome OS, we can do simultaneous translation of what the teacher is saying in one language into the native language that you can understand. We already translate, this is not available in all our products, we already translate some couple of hundred languages, but we have got a moonshot of translating far more than that because there are so many languages that we want to reach in the world, and it's important for every student to be able to get that information in the way that makes sense to them. So there's a lot of ways in which we can help the student with this sort of personalized tutor that goes along with them at the level at which they are, converts the content to the way that they understand it, and converts the information in a way that they actively can process and receive it. But it can also help the teacher by first of all, by saving time. We have done studies in Ireland that show that teachers can save up to 10 hours a week through the use of AI. And that enables teachers to actually focus on the job of actually teaching. They can get they can use AI to help them with lesson plans, but they can then focus in the classroom with their time on the job of actually teaching the students and reaching the students. Because we believe that AI does not replace the teacher. There's something very special about how information is communicated from one person to another, from a teacher to a student. We want to enhance that connection. We want to support it, buttress it, and help the teacher, but not replace that connection. We really believe in the role of the teacher in teaching. So the teacher in the current context, can really benefit from the use of AI by making things more efficient. Moving forward, we have to change not just how we learn, but what we learn, because AI is also changing what is needed in the workplace. So today, a lot of what is taught is the mechanics of how to do something. When I studied calculus, I was good in school. I did well in my exams. And I studied the mechanics of doing integration and differentiation. I was very good at it. At the end of it, if you asked me, what's the fundamental theorem of calculus, explain it to me, I couldn't have done that because I did not get some basic concepts. And with AI, I think the mechanics are becoming easier. So it's not so important to understand and do the mechanics. It becomes more important to understand the concept. That's a fundamental switch that we need to make in the context of AI. And moving forward, we have to work with educational systems to actually enable this transformation to a new level. Today, we are technologists. We are not educators. We need to work with educators who are interested in technology to, in parallel, change the education system. All of us inherently know this, that the education system has been designed for a different age. It serves some people, but not everybody. We have probably, all in this room have probably been the beneficiaries of a certain education system. But a lot of people who are not in this room actually struggled with that education system. And so helping all those students come along, I think, is the potential we have with AI today. So there are also lots of concerns that we cannot ignore. First of all, it has to be safe. So we work on adversarial testing of our models. We work with partners. We also want to get feedback, and if we discover something is bad, we want to act on it quickly. We want it to be accurate. Even though we made huge progress, and the Gemini models are phenomenal today, they still make mistakes. They still get things wrong periodically. And when you're teaching somebody, it's very important to be accurate. It's also important that we don't have students lose their ability to think and use AI as a shortcut. So to do that, what we have done is look at pedagogical principles, managing cognitive load, encouraging curiosity, and we tested for these principles and fine-tuned a model which we call LearnLM to actually be really good at these pedagogical principles. And then based on that, we built that into Gemini, and then based on that, we built products like guided learning, like Notebook, and several other new experimental products like Learn Your Way and Learn About that are built using these pedagogical principles to enable you to make better progress in learning, to actually do what teachers call the productive struggle of learning and not take the shortcut. So we are building it from the ground up. So one of our key principles in how we are approaching this is using that learning science. The last concern is equity. How do you make sure that everybody gets these benefits and not just a chosen few, the people who are most motivated, the people who are the richest? So for one thing, we're making our advanced models available for free in the educational context around the world. But we're also investing in teacher training and student training. We have trained 1.7 million students and teachers and others in the use of AI in India. And we're working further to encourage that kind of training in the use of AI effectively. So equity will require, there's a lot of potential for equity through language and so on, but there's also the potential for lack of equity if we don't pay attention to it. So our approach is twofold in all of this. The first part of it is that we want to make sure that that we are building models based on learning science, that we are advancing the frontier, we are testing our results, we're making sure that we are really helping the students move forward. We're trying to create the best models in the world to do that. The second part of it is that we also want to make sure that we work in partnership with others. Like I said, we are not educators. For us to make progress, we need to observe schools, we need to get feedback from teachers, from school districts, from ministers, who have authority over those topics, to give us the feedback we need in order to actually make our products be the best possible products for learning. So our approach is twofold, both in terms of advancing the technology and in partnering for the educational aspect. I think the potential today for AI to really transform people's lives is enormous. But realizing that potential is going to take a lot of work on everybody's side. It's not just going to come for free. We really appreciate conferences like this that bring people together from different sectors that help that conversation move forward. And we're looking forward. At Google, we've got a long history of working in close partnership with lots of entities in India. We're really looking forward to continuing that partnership, deepening it, and doing even more with India in this great transformation that AI is going to bring. Thank you.